Good evening, everybody, and welcome to BarrelUp Podcast. Today is Wednesday, the 16th of June. I'm your host, John Carlos, and this is my boy, Lorenzo. Lorenzo.
Coach Zoe, baby.
Coach Zoe. We have had conversations before. Glad to have you on the show, brother. We did our first episode throughout the pandemic. It was on live, I remember. Mm-hmm. And it's a blessing to have you here in my humble studio, my house, you know.
Yeah, thank you
for showing up.
No,
How do you feel, brother?
I feel amazing, man. You know, a lot has transpired over the last couple of months. COVID was a lot of wins, you know, and some lessons, you know, learned. But most importantly, you know, Coach Zoe is back. You know, I'm back in my element. I'm back where I'm supposed to be. You know, doing God's work and having as much impact as I can with the kids. You know, that's my mission in life.
Amen. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to the YouTube channel, BarrelUp Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, BarrelUp_baseball. Follow us on Twitter, BarrelUp Podcast/baseball. On Spotify as well, BarrelUp Podcast, and on Anchor, our major platform for audio. And don't forget to subscribe to my man's YouTube channel as well, Conversations with Zoe.
Absolutely. Conversations with Zoe. Check us out. You know, trying to uplift and empower our community. You know, trying to get us to heal from all the trauma and the things that we've gone through as kids and through our childhood. You know, so just trying to get us to be better people. You know, whether we're an athlete or not.
Obviously, what connects us is the game of baseball. So that's what we're here to talk about. But we're also going to touch on the life occurrences, right? That happen throughout the journey here in the United States, in particular. He comes from a Latino background, so do I. I'm Dominican. You come from Honduras.
Yeah.
So we come from similar backgrounds, and we're here to share basically his story, our story, as to how to do the do's and don'ts. What we did, what worked for us, what didn't. So I'm gonna pass on the ball to you, and I want you to
absolutely
just roll with it, baby.
For our Latinos out there, you know, in Dominican Republic, you know, you do habichuela roja, and, you know, and in Central America, we'll do habichuela negra, you know, but we still eating the same thing, you know,
right.
Chicken, rice, and beans, you know, that's what we doing. So we're all the same, you know, and we all have the same struggles, you know, as, you know, we're all pretty much third world countries.
Yes.
No matter how you dress it up.
Yes.
So let's unite and show more love, you know, our fellow Latinx people. But today we're talking about, you know, actually working hard versus just posting. And that's for guys in middle school, in high school, in college.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're getting away with that in the pro level because, you know, you're getting paid to play. And if you don't perform, you get cut. But for those guys, you know, it's about actually grinding. It's about doing things that make you uncomfortable. You know, working on the pitch outside, working on the pitch inside. Not just putting the tee down the middle and swinging for an hour. Like, did you really get better that day?
That's a fact. Basically, working on the little details, making yourself feel uncomfortable in the uncomfortable to make yourself better, whether it's in education, because I hate to say it, you don't see a lot of players, or you do, but then again, you don't see a lot of players signing right out of high school, not going to college. Education counts, and it pays to be educated, because if you think about it, you've seen all these cases in the major leagues, especially with the Latinos. Those that don't have a basic education, what they do with their money. A lot of them lose their lives. You've seen a lot of them derail themselves. You know, you've seen a lot of baseball players nowadays hitting their wives. They don't have a solid base education.
Yeah,
they don't have that. You know, all this money, all the social media has really damaged.
So, I gotta call a spade a spade. Those academies are failing kids.
Yes.
You're failing children big time. Cheers. BarrelUp Baseball.
Coach
they're failing kids big time, you know, because those kids, you know, the primetime number is 15, 16, right? They want you to be that age. If you've seen the Pelotero documentary.
Yes, on Netflix.
That's what they want you to be. They want you to be 15, 16. I got a crazy story and I got a crazy guest for you that I'm going to share because he's going to do it.
Right.
He doesn't even know. But because he's going to be on Conversation with Zoe, but this would be another platform for him because Lu Yang, he went to Monroe. No, he went to Western Oklahoma, then he went to Monroe, right? This guy came to the States, got fouled, right? But he's only 19.
Oh, wow. Young.
Right?
Young.
Young. In America, that's young.
Yes.
That's college. You're a sophomore, freshman in college at 19.
Correct.
In DR, he's no good.
No good.
He's too old. You know, he's not worth $2.5 million, $5 million no more. He's worth $150,000. So imagine all your worth and value is being put on you by someone else. Doesn't really know you, doesn't care about you, doesn't know your favorite color, doesn't know nothing about you. But because of your age, but he's electric 195.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Comes over here to work because his dad brought him here. And this guy, they're like, he's pitching in leagues and he's dominating. And like, yo, like, why don't you go to college? He's like, college? Like, in his mind, his career is over. You know what I'm saying? He came here to work, help his mom, like, and be all. And next thing you know, he's at Western Oklahoma.
A 19-year-old kid.
19.
Teen. The word teen. He's still a teenager. And as like Zoe said, over there in Dominican Republic and other countries where baseball is taken serious to sign.
He's no
sign
good.
Kids, he's no good. He's
that
19.
Way.
Yeah.
That way.
That's crazy.
So it's crazy. He goes to Western Oklahoma.
Didn't he sign with the Mets?
So you know who I'm talking about.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
That's my guy. And he's going to be on here, I'm telling you. And it's crazy. He was on JV at Monroe.
Junior varsity, by the way.
They devoted him to junior varsity, and he gets drafted by the Mets.
Monroe here in New York. Monroe right there, never shut up.
Right there. Just wait. You can't never stop somebody's shine. You just can't. What's meant for you is for you. And trust me.
Preach.
You're talking to a guy with 4 college at-bats, and I still went pro.
Still went pro. That's a fact.
Shrugs.
That's a fact.
What's for you is for you. Not everybody's going to see your vision. Not everybody's going to see your dream. Your own mother might tell you, yo, hang it up, bro. Pack it up. It's over. But what's for you is for you.
Let me ask you something, Zoe. We'll call you Zoe.
Yeah, absolutely. Zoe. I'm Coach Zoe, baby.
Do you think that us, and it's not to stigmatize, it's not to stereotype, I'm going to say it, I'm going to clear that out of the way. But it's a valid question. Do you think that us Latino kids, the majority of the Latino and the minority kids come from humble beginnings? Do you think that plays a role into us not really giving up and making it through the finish line, as opposed to these kids? And I have to say it.
It's just a little more privilege, you know.
Just a little bit more privilege, that have it all, that have the coach that they can pay $100 an hour, that have that guidance. Us, what about us? That we come from nothing. Do you think that plays a role?
It plays a tremendous difference, you know, because when you have more, you care less. Sometimes, right? This is not for everybody. We can't generalize it. But I do feel that there's a different hunger and a different fire, you know. And I experienced this in Austria, where those guys, you know, baseball for them, they're playing in Austria.
Right.
I'm from the South Bronx playing in Austria. We're just different. We're not the same. You know what I'm saying? So when you're gonna take that day off, I'm gonna go hit.
Right.
You know, when you're gonna do this, I'm gonna do the complete opposite. I'm gonna finish my sprints. I'm gonna do my workout, and I'm just gonna continue to get better every day, because I know that what got me here is my work ethic. What got me here is my drive and desire. And I know for those players from humble beginnings, from arroz blanco y un huevo frito, and that's just white eggs, that's white rice and a fried egg. That was dinner right there.
Right.
You put a little ketchup on it, and it was like you was eating at STK, you know? So, you know, if you look at it across Latin America, you know, the plantain is very big, the rice is very big, things that are very affordable that you can make a lot of and you can eat multiple times, and that's survival right there, you know. A lot of people grow up, these privileged people that we're talking about have meat every meal.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be lucky if you have a piece of salami with your meal. And it's one piece, not 2 pieces of chicken, not 3 pieces of steak, none of that. That's not our reality.
Right.
So it's a different hunger and a different fire when you have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you sort of kind of have to find that. And that comes from trying to be perfect for more privileged kids, in my opinion, where you're always number one in everything, you know, and that's what your parents sort of kind of lead you to be, is number one and this and that and the third. So
you gotta be okay with being number 3 and working to be number 1.
Exactly. So I feel like everyone finds their why and their purpose. Not saying that because you come from more more fortunate background that you're not gonna have the same fire and desire, but it's just different when you step on the floor. It's different when you step on the tin house. It's different when you use a hard lime as a baseball. It's different when you use a carton as a glove. It's different beginnings, you know what I'm saying?
I can relate, because I was one of those kids coming. I wouldn't say I was not being fed. I had a privileged beginning, right? But I did play in Dominican Republic And for the majority of those kids, this is a way out.
Yes.
Baseball is a way out.
It's a way out.
You know, a way out to help their family, a way to change their life.
Escape poverty.
Exactly, escape poverty. So a lot of those kids, like the majority of those kids, they eat, breathe, sleep, wake up, it's baseball, to the point where they put the education aside. And here, there's a privilege where public schools, you know, there's a lot of public schools, kids are going to school, but they take it for granted. This is a way out here too, getting a scholarship to go to college, play ball. But a lot of kids don't have the right guidance and take it for granted.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Where does that process start, you would say? Middle school, like where kids should start, you know, thinking about their future and the way out the correct way.
I would say the importance of it starts with, you know, the home, what's being valued at home.
Right.
You know, some dads, you know, are pro-education and some are anti-education, you know. So you can sort of kind of see who's who by who their parents are. You know, if their parents didn't really care about school, then they're not, probably not as well-versed or articulate. But you have some dads, you know, even Dominican dads that were very like, yo, you got to go to school, you got to do this, you got to do it by the books. And, you know, you have other dads that were just like, listen, you're going to throw 90 plus, you're going to hit the ball 400 feet, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and that's gonna be enough. Right. Not knowing that as you get older, right, you got to read what that bank statement says. Right. And you got to understand what it says. That's how you get taken advantage of in business when you don't know what the paper simply says.
Correct. A lot of us don't read.
A lot of us don't read or just simply don't have higher levels of education to understand what that paper says. So you got to be more in tune with that kind of stuff. And that matters long term because this person is going to want to buy a house sometime. Right. You know, someday. And is going to want to lease or finance a car. You got to know the difference. Right. You know, there's two different things from leasing and financing, you know. And how long do you want your mortgage? So
we're so susceptible to the BS, I would say. It's sad. It's sad. Yeah. But keep going.
No, 100%. So there's certain things that I feel like this is where coaches, who you are and what you stand for reflects and rubs up on your players. So for the coaches that didn't have much of a career, stop trying to live through your players.
Oh my God, I see it every day.
You know, so I'm fortunate enough that I had a high-level high school career, so I'm not living in high school. I was fortunate enough to push and play at a pro level. I won a championship as a player coach, so I had my days. So I'm not trying to push kids to be more than they're not, and I'm not trying to live out my glory days for my players. Like, it's about them and not me. And a lot of coaches are very egotistical, so a lot of coaches aren't really paying attention to the long-term goal, and that's for those young men or women, if you're playing softball or coaching women's sports, is who those young men and women become.
Correct.
Because we're all not going pro.
We're not all going pro. And even those that do go pro, they don't all make it to the majors, but that doesn't mean that the dream stops. I didn't make it to the majors. What am I doing? I have I work, I have my career, I have my business, BarrelUp Podcast, BarrelUp Baseball Player Development. You make something out of it, you know? There's a lot of frustration. But you made a good point. A lot of people do not read. Yeah. Especially college athletes when it comes to, high school athletes when it comes to signing a letter of intent to go to blah, blah, blah college just because they saw my video on YouTube or they saw my video on Instagram, a clip of greatness, when in reality they don't know much about me. Or they're selling me a dream. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Well, I know I had 2 knee surgeries in college, so you definitely got to be at a school that you're okay with being at without baseball. And I know that's hard to hear at 16, 17, or at 12, 13. Like, we all think we want to go to LSU or Cal State Fullerton or high major, but not all of us are high major players. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so it's the reality.
It's the reality, right? But you may go, you can get, I know guys that got drafted out of D3. I know guys that got drafted out of D2. Yep. Like, what's for you is for you. And honestly, numbers talk. You got to go to those conferences. You got to put up numbers. You got to go to those combines and those showcases, and you got to perform. Like, and to be honest, division doesn't really matter to me because at the end of the day, you're on a scholarship, you're getting an education, and you're playing baseball.
What else do you want?
You know what I'm saying?
What else do you want, bro?
That's a win-win-win.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
So whatever comes out of that is a plus.
Plus. That's it. Jesus. So I just feel like guys, be honest with yourself at the level you can actually play at. You can actually contribute, because who wants to be on a team that you're not contributing to?
I don't know.
Like you're just a guy, you're just taking up space, you're just taking up Nike uniforms and warm-ups and stuff. But a place that you can actually contribute, you can be a part of it, you can grow as a man and as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what matters at the end of the day.
Right.
It's the father you're going to be, the husband you're going to be, the CEO or employer or employee that you're going to be. At the end of the day, we want our men and women athletes to be top-notch people. Yeah, that matters.
A lot of baseball players, a lot of professional players outside of the field, they're CEOs of their own companies, CEOs of their own life, of their families.
Well, I got a good point.
I
feel the majority of business owners and CEOs around every field, every industry, the majority of them were former athletes.
Right.
So I feel like former athletes sort of kind of breed the best owners and leaders of our society.
I want to add to that. That's a very, very interesting and very good point, because at the end of the day, I'm going to talk about myself real quick. I didn't make it, but the discipline and the drive and grit and motivation that I learned from baseball, from waking up every day at 6 a.m. to go to practice, because I used to go to school in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
That determination that, every day, those transferable skills that I use in my everyday life now, I got to attribute it to the game of baseball.
Absolutely.
Think about it.
It all goes like...
I had a bad day, I went 0 for 3.
Yeah. And that's life, bro. One day you're going to lose your keys, lock yourself out the house, and you was late to work. That's 0 for 3.
Friendly.
Right there. Like, it's the same 0 for 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's about dealing with that adversity and coaches preparing these young men and women to deal with that adversity on and off the field.
It's a fact.
Because there's so much that's going to happen after those 4 years, or however many years you played. That life hasn't really hit you yet, because you don't pay rent, or maybe you are, but you haven't had the full capacity of responsibilities of a full-blown adult yet.
No,
hasn't come yet. And I feel like talking about financial literacy with your players, talking about investing, talking about certain things with your players. Also, coaches, on a sidebar, understanding that every player's situation is different. Mm-hmm. If a player tells you, hey, I got to work to help my moms, and you give them an ultimatum to be like, well, you're not dedicated to baseball. How the hell is that kid not?
What was? Wow.
Like how?
Selfish.
How is he not dedicated to baseball if he's just trying to feed his family? He's just trying to put food on the table with his mother and younger siblings. You
know how bad that can deteriorate any man or any woman's mental? Yeah. That's a big topic we should talk about.
Coach trauma is real.
Coach trauma.
And you got a lot of coaches breaking kids down to the core who are losing their identity.
I've witnessed this in college. I've witnessed, I'm sorry to cut you off, but...
No, not at all.
The way that college coaches, at least in the Northeast, the way that they approach the game of baseball in college and the way that they want things done is sometimes unreal. And you set these expectations for these players that are coming into a program, a brand new program that they're the first time ever seeing, where they have to be up to speed. Or else you're not likable. I don't care what you did in high school. Your numbers don't matter. You're not playing. And the majority of the time, all you see is a white lineup. I'm sorry, I gotta say it.
Yeah, baseball is a very white sport, and a lot of schools, aren't very diverse. Don't really have many students of color. They're not, and it's not even like them recruiting locally, because obviously they get guys from all over the country, but they're either looking for hate Spanish dudes or but not really African American players. There's a lot of players that you can look for across the country that it may not fit the coaches,
but it fits the program. It fits the vision.
The program, yeah.
So
as long as it benefits the program, then it works. But it's something that you're doing a lot of young men of color a disservice by not really taking them for who they are. I know for me, my Coach Ricker was a racist. If you see this, you don't.
He's saying this on air.
He's a racist.
Live. He wouldn't be saying this if it weren't true. And it's not to to give life to the word racism or things like that. This is real life. This is real life what college coaches, college players go through with these college coaches, especially in baseball.
There's a lot of Black and Latinx players, really being oppressed.
Yes.
At these white institutions. And
yes.
At these predominantly white, college programs, and
That's
it's
crazy.
something that if you don't go there and if you're the shining star, then you don't have a problem. But if you're gonna slump a little, or maybe you're not meeting the expectations of, the money your master gave you, because that's what they treat it as. It was treated like you're a slave, and we give you money, and now you gotta do what daddy says, and once you don't, the amount of ridicule you get, and people turn your backs on you, and you're from across the country, and you're over here in Pennsylvania or wherever you are.
Oh my God! You're on your own.
You're on your own, and that's a lot to put on an 18, 19, or 20-year-old kid, who feels by himself, who feels alone, who feels like baseball's not working out. He doesn't have the support system that he needs to really flourish as a young man, as a young athlete.
It's real.
And it sucks, bro. And it's one of the most horrible things. And it's like a lot of these coaches are really breaking down, men of color, and it sucks, and I'm a victim of it.
I'm a victim of it. Because I had a Nike box full of scholarships, not to brag or anything, full of scholarships, baseball scholarships, to go far away from the Northeast where it snows, where it's cold, favorable for me for my educational and baseball career.
Yeah.
And the amount of persuasive words and persuasive dialogue that these coaches have here just to fit a roster spot on their scholarship fund that they have. Because sometimes they're giving out scholarships, minor scholarships to kids that they don't necessarily have to be there. They're just giving it just to fill a roster spot. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. When they know for themselves, the coaches know you're not going to play. So you're ruining a kid's actual potential and career by basically washing their brains, saying, "Oh, hey, come over here, you're going to play. Come to the school."
Yeah.
Just because they have excess money left and they have to.
Yeah.
It's real.
I mean, coaches need to stop being liars. You can't lie to players. If they don't fit, they don't fit. Be honest with them. It's not just to fill a quota or fill an agenda or whatever your motive is. That young man is going to be a father someday. He's going to be a CEO, or he's going to have a life outside of your program.
You know what my college coach told me? And this is a true story. I am, thanks to God, I'm a college graduate, 4-year bachelor's, just like you, right? But I dropped out. Bro, I went through such a terrible journey in Dominican college. Not to derail anybody that wants to go there, by all means. My story doesn't have to be yours. This is us just giving you.
And if it works for you, it works for you. But honestly, fuck Post University. So I'm kidding. You know what I'm saying?
You already know. Because, like I said, I had a box full of scholarship, all southern states in the United States, schools in the United States, right? Southern states like Florida, Georgia, that wanted me. I'm not talking about Georgia Tech or LSU or none of that, but really good programs.
Yeah.
And it sucks to say that these guys persuaded me so much. They went to my senior year.
They pulled up to your school.
My senior year, they pulled up to 12 games.
Oh, yeah, they was on your heels.
I was already verbally committed to Chipola College over there in Florida. That's where Jose Bautista came out of, Russell Martin, Kyle Corbin.
Yeah.
A real deal, bro.
Yeah.
And they just went to my school, 12 games. They talked to my mother. They took me to the ballpark. They played in Dominican College home team. That's Provident Bank Park over the Cuomo Bridge, right?
Yeah.
Saw campus. Made it all nice and dandy when I had a real journey to follow.
Yeah.
What would you say would be your advice to a Giancarlos, a kid in my position, at that age, before signing that letter of intent?
The only thing I could say is that the BarrelUp Podcast wouldn't exist.
Right.
You wouldn't have done
Oh my God.
It wouldn't have this
Good
wouldn't
point.
exist
Good point.
without that.
Good point.
You wouldn't have, I'm not saying that you wouldn't want to give back the knowledge and the game and the information, but what real drive would you have to really get up here 50-something episodes in the game? Backdrop, lights, investing.
They don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't know how hard it is to be where I'm at, to be where you at. But at the end of the day, we had to go through that.
We had to go
be
through that,
here.
bro.
You're right.
Thank God for the
Thank
struggle.
God.
Thank God for the adversity.
Thank God
for all of that, because that's what made me stand on 10 toes right now. And that's why when I got my opportunity, and trust me, my first contract was nothing to brag about. But I got my foot in the door. And everybody says, oh, well, you was only making this, only making that. Listen, I got the opportunity.
Crazy.
I got a crib in Europe.
Oh, wow.
I'm getting paid to do what I love.
Wow.
I'm off the block. And once again, I'm in Europe, baby. Like,
college graduate.
What you talking about? You're college graduate.
You have that degree right there that you can use.
I won Coach of the Year. Like, what more you want me to say? You know? So, it's official tissue on this side. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful for the hard times. Because the hard times, and honestly, I'm scared of more people that never been through nothing. Because you see life really like peaches and cream. Yeah, but, that's not life. And for those guys who, I'm sorry to say, but the BarrelUp Podcast, this is a therapy session too. If your parents have protected you from reality, they can't protect you from college baseball. Because it's going to be a grind. Especially if you're a PO, I hope you invest in some good running sneakers.
Pitcher only.
I hope you invest in some good running sneakers.
That's a fact.
You might be a borderline cross-country runner. You know
we're giving you jewels right now.
$1 million worth of
If you can, at least in the Northeast, right? If you can withstand the 4 years of college, even 3, and successfully manage to get out and get drafted, you'll make it to the majors.
You'll make it.
Because it's like militant. The workouts are militant. The mindset is militant, right? But let's now talk about something a little bit different. That I see a lot of college coaches being fooled nowadays, and players fooling themselves, because the topic that I'm going to dive into, social media. Social media, now, it's very good. It's very good because now scouts can actually scout a player overseas by watching them on video. They don't have to travel. For example, in DR, let's say in DR, you have a scout in one region of the country to another. They see the kid on Instagram, a couple swings. God damn, this guy can hit the ball 400 feet in BP.
Yeah.
But how many times did he roll over in BP? How many times did he foul the ball in BP? He just showed you that good clip.
Yeah.
How devastating, or how much of
like
a malice?
Misleading. Yeah, it's like misleading.
How much of a malice can social media be?
Yeah.
For the new generation coming up.
Well, the thing is that
and these players wanting to act like they're pros with all the gear.
Yeah. One of my.
Oh my God, this is sizzling tonight.
I know it's one of my guys. And if he sees this, I'm not gonna say a name, but he knows exactly who I'm talking about. He had a round at my job, and it was literally he barreled up 2 out of 10 balls in front toss.
Front toss. That's a 200 average.
That's a shitty round. That's terrible. That's god awful. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so my whole thing for those young guys out there, before you go into a round, like, what's your plan? Like, what are you trying to? What's your
have
goal?
an approach?
Have an approach. Like
right.
What are you mentally? What are you gonna do? And what are you physically gonna put out there? You have a plan and you execute. And you just have these guys, just going through the motions of things, you know what I'm saying? And you got coaches hyping up, 2 barreled up balls when it's just like, bro, like, your plane is off the, like, out of
BarrelUp
place.
baseball, BarrelUp balls.
You're not barreling up nothing, you know what I'm saying? Your plane is off, everything is off. You worry about launch angle. Before you worry about launch angle, you gotta worry about contact, bro. You gotta make contact first.
That's a
you know what I'm saying? So you can't, run without walking first. And, you can't walk without crawling first. Like, it's steps to it, you know what I'm saying? And as a father to a 1-year-old, I literally witnessed that there's steps to these processes.
Right.
So, with that being said, really go grind and get better. Like, be uncomfortable. Be comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Set that T low and outside. Set that T low down the middle. Set that T low and outside.
Criticism.
You know what I'm saying? Learn how to take constructive
criticism.
But really, worry about the details of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody can hit a fastball. Right. Honestly, the whole league should be Dominicans, because y'all can hit the shit out of fastballs. But once you go like this, you know what I'm saying? That's where, not every Dominican or Latin player makes it. So it's about those adjustments, and it's about really putting in the work and not just, I hit a bomb 36 seconds into the video, trim,
let me just put that
fire emoji. There it is. Give me fire emoji and just wild fire emojis everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And now you going to sleep like, yo, I'm lit, bro. I'm better than Miguel Cabrera. You sleep now, and bro, you really trash.
I would say, when you're sleeping, there's a kid in China or across the world working. So there's always somebody trying to be better than you.
Facts.
I'm gonna go a little bit off on a tangent. It's like Drake said. Drake, I'm a big fan of Drake.
Yeah.
Drizzy, right?
Right.
Drizzy, they asked him, like, what do you have left to do? You've put on a lot of people. You're the best artist of the decade. He's like, listen, man, I'm just worried about that kid that's in his house right now, in his bathroom, making beats, working on his craft at 17 right now. That's what I'm worried about. The kid that's hungry to take my spot.
Yeah.
That's applicable in baseball. That's applicable in life. You can't be content with having one round of BP in front of a scout, a college coach, or a scout, and going a great round. Baseball is about consistency. Life is about consistency.
Yeah.
So you can't cheat yourself and just go off the highlights. You have to feel the emotions of what it is to go 0 for 5 with four Ks.
Absolutely.
And actually learn from that and actually build off that. That's where I want to go as well. The mentality that you have to have when you go 0 for 7 in the first 2 games of the season, you have a slump.
Yeah.
It's like you said, you have to be comfortable in the uncomfortable, because that's only going to make you who you need to be.
Absolutely.
Evan Longoria is a very, very, very good topic. A very good example. Evan Longoria was not a good player at all.
Yeah.
But he was a very good analysis of his own game, of his own mind. He knew what he had to do.
Didn't he have like a mental therapist?
He had a mental therapist, right?
In Tampa.
No, in Tampa, but that
started like in Long Beach.
Beach, right?
Yep, in college. Yep.
Evan Longoria was an average player, average college player that could hit 200 and things like that his first year, right? Somebody saw something in him and he ran with it. He transferred to Long Beach State. That's when he met the mental aspect guy. I forget his name.
Yeah.
But that guy helped him and Troy Tulowitzki to become major league players. And it started with things like this, so simple as this. You see the foul pole right there? The foul pole is always going to be there, right? Your swing is always going to be there.
Yeah, you remember it to a T.
Right?
Yeah.
Whenever you feel pressure, just look at that foul pole. Breathe, relax, control the controllables. Do not worry about the things that you can't control. You struck out this at bat, don't worry about it. How many more at bats can you have? Just try to control the pitch at a certain point of the at bat, and you'll be successful.
Yeah.
Meaning, slow things down.
Yeah.
Worry about what you see. What you don't see, don't worry about it. What you do, you did. What you didn't do, you didn't do. Control the controllables and always be in control of yourself. Evan Longoria, 5-time All-Star.
Cash Money Records.
You crazy?
I got it. So we're gonna piggyback off that, right? About controlling the controllable and staying within your emotions, right?
Oh, yes.
For those guys out there still throwing helmets, cut it out.
For real.
Cut it out.
For real.
Because your boy Zoe, right? I want to say it's the first, was it the second or the first? No, it was the first, because I remember I pitched in a scrimmage.
Oh, you used to pitch?
Right? And I struck out 10.
Really?
That day. But I know this was our home opener, right?
This is in college?
This is in Austria, bro.
Austria. Pro
Right?
ball.
2019 in Pro Ball.
Oh, that's too easy.
And I literally, we played doubleheaders. We played 7-inning doubleheaders, right? So literally my next game is 30 minutes away from this at-bat, right? Mm-hmm. This is the bottom of the 7th. And I ground out and I touch first base and I throw my helmet. As I throw my helmet, I dislocated my shoulder. Right? I threw it and it locked, jammed. And you can see me in the team photo in the newspaper in my arm like this. I literally couldn't bend it. I go to the hospital, they pop it back in, and they're like, I'm thinking mind you, I just got to Austria, right? Austria is a far, 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 it's a far, far land. It's across the waters.
Across the ocean.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking if this is a wrap, they're gonna clip me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're going to terminate my contract and send me back home. And mind you, I just got here 2 weeks ago.
All over not knowing, I say it,
Yeah.
so not knowing how to control those emotions in that present time.
Particular moment, right? So, dislocated the shoulder, no big deal. They're like, listen, you're on the shelf for, the next game, which was fine because we had a game and then an off week.
That helped you heal.
So that was the 2 weeks right there. Bro, I had to start from ground zero. Like, I had to strengthen my arm again, not learn how to throw, but find a comfortable release point. That's why I started throwing quick quarters. But that was all over a couple seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a couple seconds could cost you my whole season. Like, literally sent home, and that was that. So that was, like, I'm on the couch. I'm watching Netflix every day. I'm in my head. I'm in my emotions. And I'm really thinking, like, wow, like, I'm so grateful that this didn't cost me my season. Like,
wow.
And so, like, learn to be in control. Learn that there's always going to be another game, even if it's in a couple days or a couple hours. I mean, for me, it was 25 minutes, till the next at-bat, till I can prove myself and just move on. But don't get caught up in one emotion, because one sudden moment could literally cost you your whole season.
There's a lot of players. Go ahead, keep going.
And, 2019 champions, first championship in 20 years.
Oh, shoot.
I was a player coach, so I coached the team that I played for as well.
Look at that.
As one of the number 2 coach, assistant head coach. And we won, I pitched, I won some games that year. I closed out some games that year. And
like Kelly Johnson.
I did my thing, I hit 417, 11 home runs in the regular season. I hit 4 home runs in the playoffs. I hit 370 in the playoffs. And that was the birth of Zo Mama. I was just in a different mentality, like a different mental space that I was just ready to eat, bro. And I wasn't gonna come home without that chip. So
look at that.
I'm home and I got that chip.
You had a determination. You went. You resolved it. You conquered. You came back. You learned a couple things. Now you're coaching, right? Mm-hmm. But this applies even to the major league level, in the Major League Baseball and in the Major League Baseball that we see today. Players that do not know how to control their emotions.
Yeah.
Yasiel Puig.
Yeah.
You see that kid Garrett from the Cincinnati Reds, the pitcher that always trying to fight somebody.
Yeah.
You see a bunch of players. You see a lot of players off the field.
Yeah.
Off the field, Marcelo Zuna hitting his wife. Yeah. It has to be another Dominican doing some dumb shit.
Let it off. He let it off.
Letting it off.
Domingo Germán.
You know what
I'm saying?
You see this guy, I forget his name. I think his last name was Bastardo. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, having a relationship with a 13-year-old, getting arrested.
Oof, that's different.
I actually think, yes, bro, mental health is real.
Yeah.
I actually think that Jose Reyes hitting his wife, getting thrown, basically shunned from baseball, little by little. Major League Baseball, there's a lot of money in Major League Baseball. There's a lot of
resources,
ups and downs, a lot of resources. Major League Baseball, I'm saying it here now, has to look into investing into a mental health department for their players.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money. Not all of these players hire a mental health specialist or somebody to counseling, somebody to analyze their life.
A lot of these players have faced a lot of trauma, and they suppress a lot of trauma in order to make it.
Yeah.
And I'm a victim of it too. I had a really tough childhood growing up in the South Bronx. A lot of things that I went through that normal children wouldn't go through, but I did suppress those things because I knew, like, if I stay and harbor these feelings, I'm not gonna make it out, and I gotta make it out. So that was my whole motive. But I know I can only imagine the kind of poverty, those guys were living, and honestly, they lived a little bit of better life because they were valuable to someone. You know what I'm saying? So you got these. Academies where, if you're a full boat guy, like, they're going to take 30% of your contract, 40% of your contract.
35, 40.
Tell me what 40% of $5 million is. We'll wait. It's a lot of money, right? And you get 3 or 4 of those guys a year.
Yes.
You're doing pretty good.
Very well.
So, but then you have some families that can pay a little, and maybe they can buy the kid bats and, equipment. But 9 times out of 10, it's usually the academy and whoever runs the academy sponsoring that kid for everything he needs until draft day. You know, and that could be 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, depending on what age you get scouted at. So there's certain things that, you know, you're away from your family. You know, you have technically a 5th, 6th grade, 7th grade education.
All that takes a toll on your mental, man.
Yeah, so you didn't really get to, and now you were doing math with no money, and now you gotta do math with millions. Like what are you supposed to do? A lot of money
that you can't,
You know, there's more food in the locker room than you ever saw in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. You know, so there's a lot of things that you're sort of kind of conditioned, you know, to be that way, and it's a lot to, you know, America's a culture shock. The minor leagues is a culture shock.
The minor leagues, that's a very good point. The minor leagues is a culture shock. A lot of players in the minor leagues have to work a job after they play a game. Yeah. They have to literally live with a roommate and split rent. It's nice to see Gary Sanchez hitting a home run with the Yankee uniform 400 feet. What did Gary Sanchez have to go through to get there? And how mentally strong is that person? Is Gary Sanchez an example? There's a lot of players, right?
Yeah.
This ain't easy. This ain't, hey, no offense, bro.
Yeah.
Not because it's baseball, because we love the sport. Baseball is the hardest sport to make it in.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys got to look up to, you know, my guys. You know, built different athletes.
Built different, of course.
Yeah, one of them, you know, Richie's with the Cleveland Indians.
His brother made it to the majors.
Yeah, he made it to the majors. He got called up to the show. He's with the Toronto Blue Jays. But like, if you really watch that episode, we did 2 interviews. We did a part 1 and part 2, and you know, homie was like, they were like, almost like they were sleeping in the trap, you know, and Bo Bichette was there too. You know, they sleeping on couches, sleeping on mattresses on the floor.
Talking about major leaguers, brother.
You know, we talking about, you know, and that could make or break you, like, because the road to the show, you know, it's funny how you have MLB The Show, but the road to the show is not so pleasant. You know what I'm saying? It's not the prettiest thing, and to get to that point, you know, it's a lot of sacrifices. You know, are you willing to sleep on couches? Are you willing to literally couch surf? You know, sleep on mattresses on the ground.
Are you willing to, if you're a college player, are you willing to go to class? Are you willing to wake up early, do your thing, be a student athlete? Are you willing to compete? Coach Zoe, to finalize, my brother.
Yeah. Shout out to the Palacio brothers, bro. Those are my guys.
Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Coach
Conversations with Zoe. Coach _Zoe_25. Catch me on Instagram. Follow my nonprofit organizations.
The guy who created a business.
You know,
Say it again.
Yeah, Slice of Excellence. We trade report cards for pizza. So pretty much, it was an idea that originated from my teaching days, and which didn't last so long, but a lot of good came out of it. You know, oodles noodles, babies. You know, you see kids eating ramen every day. You see those blue, yellow, orange, pink, red packs every day, and they're eating that for lunch and dinner, just straight noodles. And I'm like, if I give these kids pizza, it's gonna look like charity. But if I be like, yo, whoever gets the highest grade Friday gets pizza, now you earned it.
You earned it.
It's no longer charity, because that's incentivized. You know what I'm saying? Correct. So I'm buying 2 kids pizza every week. And then, you know, I'm posting on the gram and people start sending me money. So I'm like, whoa, like, I got to separate this, because now this donation is on my personal account, and I need to separate this. So now it got to a point where it was like, you know, I did the paperwork. Shout out to my accountant for this.
Preach.
And, you know, we got the paperwork. I'm an official 501c3, tax exempt. You know, if you donate big money, you know, I'll get you those tax exempt.
BarrelUp will be making a donation to the cause.
Absolutely, you know, so we're gonna, you know, we do a lot of great things. It's a positive phone call home. You know, a lot of parents, you know, when the teacher calls you, it's usually not nothing pretty positive, you know what I'm saying? But now it's something beautiful. Now it's something great where, you know, you're going to send pizza where? You know what I'm saying? Come on, like, you know, I like Hawaiian. You know, parents want to sneak one in there. I got you. Don't worry about it. I'm going to send you 2 pieces tomorrow, you know, and congratulations to your kid on their honor roll and stuff like that. So
all this stems from a discipline, from baseball, from learning to struggle, now giving back.
Yeah.
One last advice that you would give a college player that has all the talent in the world, but has to focus. to make it?
I got a couple pieces of advice.
Go ahead.
Enjoy your life off the field. That's one thing I learned. I learned the hard way through my injuries. But, don't let baseball define you, because one day baseball won't be a part of your life. Depending on, because not every athlete can coach. That's just facts.
That's a fact.
So we can talk about that in another episode. But not everybody can be relatable and transfer the information to a person of younger age, or it doesn't matter the level. You just may not be able to be relatable and be approachable as a coach. You may be a little too stern, or just maybe you don't have the verbiage to give that knowledge out and give the game out.
Correct.
Take school serious. Intern. Maybe get some work experience, just because that's going to be your backup plan. If you can, and just stay true to yourself and go to class.
Go to class.
I got a quick story about going to class. We had, so mind you, we just conditioned like dogs. Everybody know what college conditioning is.
Oh my God, I lost
in the
weight.
stadium, bro.
They used to call us a soccer team.
Bro, you might as well. We were the cross country team that swing bats. You know what I'm saying? And so coach, so mind you, dudes is changing, we chilling, music is going. We about to get out of here. It's late too. And anybody who ever practicing in the Northeast, when that sun go down, get a little brisky outside, the little dew is on the ground, your cleats is wet, your socks is wet, your feet is itchy. It get crazy out there. And we just ran like dogs. And coach was like, hold on. We got the absentee list, right? It's a poll per class you missed. Mind you, we had a pretty big stadium.
That's crazy.
I don't know if you played that post?
Nah. Is it LIU post or post?
Nah, it's post university.
Nah.
Alright, so that stadium is pretty big. Now those poles are pretty far apart. So he's calling out names. He didn't call my name because, mind you, I went to boarding school, so I was already used to getting up and going to school by myself. That wasn't new to me.
You had that discipline.
I had that discipline. There was dudes, bro. Mind you, this is like late October, early November.
It's cold.
Bro, dudes miss 25 classes, 30 classes. Like, it adds up, bro, because if you're taking 5 classes, right, and you don't go for a month, that's 20 classes.
20 classes, of course.
You know what I'm saying? If you go to half those, that's 10. But say you miss 10 in September, 10 in October, 10 in November, that's 30 classes, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's 30 polls. So there was dudes literally like, yo, coach, can I please finish this tomorrow? Or like there was dudes that ran till they couldn't run no more and they had to finish it throughout the week. Like there's dudes running 20, 30, 40 polls.
That's crazy.
And I was so happy that I wasn't on that list, bro.
You went to class?
What? Bro, I'm going to, boarding school is so strict that like, when I went to college, this is a piece of cake. Like, I don't even have to participate. I could just show up. I'm not encouraging anyone, but I'm just saying it's that easy.
Wow.
Like, if you just can't show up, then how dedicated are you to the game? And mind you, I did have a 3.7 GPA in college, so
good.
Let's talk about it. But it was crazy, bro. Like, there were dudes that were sick. I remember looking at their face, bro. I remember throwing up, numb. Like, I'm talking about like feet dragging. There was other players that ran polls for other players. Like, I wasn't running shit for nobody, bro. Cause that's, my degree only got my name on it.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So
that's a fact.
That's on you. But yeah, take school serious, discipline yourself, enjoy life off the field, and
enjoy life on the field.
On the field, and just experience other things. Travel, get some work experience, and just build up your resume outside of baseball is the biggest thing I can say.
My brother's dog.
Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
This is the first of many. This is the second one, actually. This is the second one.
I might be a co-host today. Who knows?
No, you never know. We'll talk about it. But listen, guys, I hope you got what you needed to get out of this podcast. Life in baseball, college in baseball, pros, right? The do's and don'ts, the mental aspect of the game, the social media aspect, which we live in a social media era. Right? All pertaining to the game of baseball, but all pertaining to what? To life.
To life.
Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, BarrelUp Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, BarrelUp_baseball. Like this video. Comment down below. Also, follow us on Anchor. You can hear this, right? You can hear this podcast on Anchor and on Spotify. And please do not forget to subscribe to my man Coach Joe's Instagram. What's the Instagram?
Conversation. So my Instagram is longlivebig_Zoe. That's my personal page.
And
Coach
YouTube.
_Zoe_25. Slice of Excellence. Don't forget about us. Donate. Trading report cards for pizza. And most importantly, last but never least, my baby, Conversations was on YouTube. Thank you. Peace and love.
You're going to love this. And last thing, you heard it here first. BarrelUp Podcast, baby. Thank you.